I'm Junor Francis saying a pleasant good evening. It's Friday evening here in Southern California, Pacific Coast time. Well, we're just on top of the 7 o'clock hour. Want to remind viewers that I'll be talking to the legendary Stranger Cole, the extraordinarily brilliant and dynamic. He was there from the very beginning of Jamaican music during the early 60s. His first song, Bangarang, when Jamaican music rocksteady transitioned from rocksteady into reggae, his song Bangarang was one of the first songs. But he'll be talking about that momentarily, just in case you have any doubt whatsoever. I want to also point out, while we anxiously await the arrival of Stranger Cole, that all the interviews that we have conducted can be seen at the History of LA Ska on Instagram. I want to thank all the participants so far, too numerous for me to mention. And live and direct from the epicenter of this great music, reggae music, ska and rocksteady, none other than Stranger Cole. We'll be talking about his extraordinary career that began over there at Treasure Isle, 33 Bond Street, Kingston, Jamaica. But I remember Derek Morgan said to me in his own words that he went to England on vacation, and when he came back, when actually he was on tour in England, one man he could hear as he traveled through Jamaica was Stranger Cole. Enough respect, Stranger. Stranger, how's
Yeah,
everything?
more life. Yeah,
More
thank you,
life.
Junior.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. Derek Morgan. And when Derek Morgan said that is the truth.
yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
yeah, yeah. That's
Yes.
my that's one of my friend, you know.
Yes, yes, and he's alive and still in the flesh. Great.
Oh yes, we're gonna be keeping something for his birthday, in February.
Uh-huh. Right.
Many of us is gonna contribute some song for him.
Okay, so what is that? What form that event is going to take? Is it a party? Well, you guys can't come together because of the
Uh,
pandemic,
uh,
right?
uh, uh, maybe something like streaming.
Right. Wonderful. Good. So let's start with you, sir. Born and raised in Kingston under the clock. Where exactly were you born? Actually, you can answer. I know you're brilliant enough to answer. Your brothers and sisters. Tell us a little about how many brothers and
Yeah,
sisters you have, and where you're from a musical family. So it's like five
yeah.
in one.
Well, yeah. Well, I really was born in Jonestown. I
But that's
joined
Kingston.
into
You make it sound like
Trenchtown,
you make
but
it
I,
sound like
I
it's
grew up
country.
most of all. Yeah, well, it's all about Kingston, West
I
Kingston to be exact.
yes.
Yeah. hmm
Right. Brothers and
When
sisters.
I was born, I can't tell you that. You have to ask my mom, and she's not alive.
Right. So
So I
okay.
think I'm about 18 years old.
Yes, sir. And you look it
Yeah.
through. Brothers and sisters.
Yeah, thanks.
Any
Oh,
brothers
yeah,
and
many
sisters?
brothers and sisters
Uh-huh.
from my mother and my father's sides. And I have a lot of brothers and sisters live in Windsor Forest, Portland,
Uh-huh.
and I have family all over the world. You know that. You are
Yes.
one of them.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, stranger. Right. So we want to.
Yeah.
So you told us where you were born and raised. Uh-huh. Your first trip to Treasure Isle, to the best of my understanding, Duke Reed said you should go and get Patsy. But I heard that you were a songwriter before that. You wrote for Monty Morris. Is that right?
No, no, no. My first trip to Treasure Isle is because of my brother was the number one disc jockey for Duke. His
Eh.
name was Cuttings, Leroy Cole.
Yes.
He passed off the other day.
All right.
And then I was going to an high school.
Mhm.
Yes, studying chemistry and all of these things. And then I started to sing in school, and then I got to high school.
Yeah, I think I think I lost the sound.
Let's see if he can hang up and dial back in.
Stranger, I lost the sound. Stranger, can you hear me? Yeah, we lost the sound, so we're gonna have to. Can you call back? Because I can't hear anything he's saying, much to my sorrow.
It's on his side.
Oh, it's on your side, sir.
Let's have him end and rejoin.
I'll tell you what, we're going to end and then rejoin.
Let's have them end it. And
Can you?
rejoin.
Let's end and rejoin.
Ask him to hang up.
He's off.
All right. No. He'll request to join again.
Once again, I'm delightfully in conversation with the legend of Jamaican music, Stranger Cole. Brilliant, magnificent, a wonderful person. I've spent many hours with him here in Los Angeles, in Jamaica, in Mexico as well. So I'm speaking from personal experience.
Just in technical
Again,
difficulty.
Great guy. Yes, Stranger. We're back.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So you were.
Yeah,
so
we're back,
Yes, man. Technology. So I think the last thing I heard you said your brother was working for Treasure Wild, the Duke. So it wasn't difficult for you to reach Duke Reid.
No, it wasn't difficult.
Right.
It was much easier.
Yes, right. And if, for instance, if you lived in the country, it would be so difficult. You have to ride donkey pathway and then get the bus from Kingston, Jonestown. You just walk. You just walk to Treasure Island.
Yes, of course.
So what was it like? Yes, so your first meeting
definitely.
with Duke Reid. Your first meeting with Duke Reid. What was it like?
Well, it was fun, because he was seeing me as my the smaller brother to my my disc jockey brother, which was one of his big top disc jockey. So he said they called my brother Cuttings. They say, send in little Cuttings, let us hear what he has to say,
Yes, sir.
And then I sing Two Little Blackbirds Sat on the Wall. And that story gave it to Monty Morris, and it went #1. And then
that was
after
your composition.
that, he says to me, he is a good songwriter. Yeah?
Wow.
Yeah. He said that he said that I was a good songwriter. And then he said that he want me to sing 2 more songs by himself. And he sent me to see Patsy.
And what were those songs for the record?
And that is when I start singing with Patsy.
And for the record, what were those songs?
My first 2 songs I sang was Rough and Tough and When I Call Your Name.
Right. And then he said, boy, go and get Patsy. Right? Did you?
Yes. So you could say I got 3 #1 back to back.
Oh, I couldn't say it's a fact that you got 3 #1 back to back. And you became known as Mr. Rough and Tough, as a matter of fact, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, right.
I'm a little small man, as you know, but when I sang that song, some guys thought I was some tough, strong guy, and then people always said to me, I can't believe it's a little man like you sing that Rough and Tough.
And Stranger, you still maintain that size. I don't know how you do it over the years.
Yes, I do,
Yeah, very disciplined, man. Very disciplined. You don't eat junk food and don't eat out of schedule.
Yes, thank you very much.
So, you mentioned that your brother passed away. Sorry to hear that. Was he a singer as well?
Yeah.
Was your brother a singer as well?
Yes, okay, sir.
Was your brother a singer?
No, he was an engineer and a disc jockey. No.
Right.
But my father was a guitar player, and my uncle was also a guitar player. My uncle used to play with Ernest Ranglin and all those guys way back when,
Oh, this is no joke. So you're really from a musical family? Your brother
Oh
top
yes, and
selector.
I'm
So
so
when you
from a
say engineer,
music. I'm so
so when you say engineer, you mean the
yeah.
guy
I'm
who
so
select the record or he fix equipment?
no. He used to fix amplifiers and
Oh, so
all
he's an
these things.
engineer by profession. Uh-huh, right.
Yeah, because in
Wonderful.
those days, people doesn't put anybody behind those machines. You have to know
No,
much
you
about it,
better
you know.
believe it. Right. Yes, sir. Right. So
Yeah.
I want you to tell us about your earliest musical memory. When you grew up in Jamaica, who were some of your influences? What songs were being played at the radio and in jukebox? Did they have
Yes.
jukebox then? I know they had gramophone
Oh,
and sound system when you
oh
grew
yeah,
up.
they had a one and two. Yeah. Well, it was mostly sound system, you know,
Sound system. Uh-huh.
and one and two jukebox. But the
Right.
thing them that attracted me most, we used to listen to a lot of American music, you know.
Yes.
And
Mm-hmm.
I was going, yeah, I used to love to listen to people like Shirley and Lee, you know,
Yeah, man.
and Rasco Garden and Louis Prima and Fats Domino and all of these people, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where these are the people that really influences me, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
how about your songwriting? How were you able
Well,
to develop and master and sharpen that skill at such an early age in your life? Did that start in school?
yes. Well, I thought the songwriting thing is really a gift to me, you know,
Mm,
because most of the song that I wrote, I really never go and sit down with a pen and a book and try to write a song. The
mhm.
songs always come to me, and then I put it on paper, you know. So I think it's a gift somehow.
Oh, so you didn't learn this in school. It just come to you and you just write it down. Next thing you know, it's a hit song.
Yes, it just come to me. Yeah, I
Mhm.
think I had the knowledge. I was very good in school in composition, so I think more or
Oh,
less
there you go.
that
There
come
you go.
through
That's the
that vein
foundation.
also.
That's the foundation, right? And when did you decide? When did you decide that you
Yeah.
want to choose music as your path? Your brother was an engineer. Your father played the instrument. You decided, no, I am going to use my voice as my path to success. When did you
Yeah,
decide
well,
that?
I didn't really have it as a successful thing because I was going to do other things before. I was going to school learning some chemistry at
Mhm,
some evening institute, and I was always learning to be a tailor and all of these things. But because the music was in my blood or my bloodstream, it just flows, you know. It
mhm.
just come to me normal, and I start to write and sing songs. And I was influenced again by some great Jamaican artists like um Theophilus Beckford and
Yes, man.
Wilfred Jackie Edwards and
Great
Derek
vocalist.
Morgan,
Hmm.
yeah, Chuck and Darby, you know, and
Yes,
the
that one escaped me.
Jiving Juniors and all of these guys that was in front of me. You know, those were some great people who influenced me.
Right. And so when Duke Reed tell you to go and find Patsy, your first song with Patsy, which one was that? Sound gone again, Eric. Eric, can you hear? Sound is gone.
Yeah. Let's give it 1 second and he can dial back in. All right, let's ask him to hang up and dial back.
Uh, can you hang up and dial back because we can't hear you on the West Coast?
Yeah.
If by chance you just arrived, I'm presently in conversation with the highly esteemed, highly recognized Stranger Call. Been there from the very onset when Jamaican music was still in its embryonic stages. Of course, when there was Ska, from Ska, music evolved into rocksteady, Stranger Call was there. When the music evolved from rocksteady to reggae, Stranger Cole was there. Still touring, still kicking supreme. Stranger, Man, we've never had this
Yeah.
problem before, but I'm glad to have you back. So let's continue our conversation. And I want
Well,
to listen.
like you say, it's technology. It's technology.
Yes. Is it raining in Jamaica at the moment?
We- No, it's not raining now.
Uh-huh. Right. And you're surviving well the pandemic. You're taking care of yourself?
Oh, oh yes, I'm keeping my distance and wearing my mask, and
Hmm.
I don't go out unless I have to. I mostly go out and do dub plates, and I'm in the studio with my son most of all. We have a studio called 100 Studio. My
Yes.
son is another. My son is Squidly Cole, the
Yes, man.
gem
Very
of the
famous.
Marleys.
Yes. Oh, yes, sir. Worldwide, he's well known.
Yes,
Mhm. So let's
yeah.
pick up from where we left off.
So I do a lot of work in the studio with my son in
Right.
Jamaica.
So the dollar is still flowing with that you need for survival.
Yes.
Nice. So let's pick up now. So the Duke himself sent you to meet Patsy, or go and find Patsy so that you guys can do some duets. Sound is gone again. Can you hear Eric?
I don't know why it keeps putting out. Let's see if you can hang up and down one more time.
I think Stranger Cole left, so hopefully he'll return. This is really beyond our control, eh? This is definitely beyond our control, beyond our control. The joy and the privilege of talking to the legendary Stranger Cole. Stranger, I'm
Yes.
beyond myself with, in spite of the interruption, I'm really and truly beyond myself with joy just linking up with you again.
Yeah, me
Yes,
too.
sir. Yeah, man. So, yes, sir. Just so Patsy, people want to know about Patsy, your first time out with Patsy. What was it like, Stranger? Sorry, Duke Reed sent you to go and find Patsy so that you guys can do some
Yes.
duet. I think he liked Shirley and Lee. He also liked Derek Morgan. He did a lot of songs with Patsy. So when Derek was
Yes.
away, Duke Reed said, Stranger, go and find Patsy. So pick up the story from there.
Yes. When Duke Reed said I could he think that I could write some good song, and he told me that I have a voice like Derek Morgan. And
Ah,
then Derek Morgan was away in England,
yes, sir.
and they said he said he would love me to sing a song with this lady called Patsy.
Hmm.
I never met her. I heard her sing with Derek Morgan and all of that. And
Yes.
they were very great. They still are.
Oh yes, oh,
And
and they're
then,
both alive.
and then I went and see Miss Patsy and told her Mr. Reed said, yeah, because I could not say so.
Right.
So I told her Mr. Reed said that she should sing a song with me, and she said it was okay. I told her that I was Cotton's little brother, which was
Right.
yes, and she know my brother very
Yes,
well.
man. Everybody
So
around
she
thinks
said,
so.
yeah, yeah. So she said, okay, she would sing the song with me, and I taught her to sing When I Call Your Name, and we
Right.
went in the studio
Mm.
and recorded it.
And
Yes.
the rest is history. Number one.
Yeah, I'm still
Number
making so
one.
many dub plates. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about another duet with you and Sister Patsy. Hey, hey, hey,
Yes.
baby. With Lynn Tate,
Oh,
the
yeah.
great Lynn Tate on guitar, lead guitar, and
Yeah.
the one in a million, one in a lifetime, one in the century, Dan Drummond on the bones. And the introduction of that
Yes.
song made it immoral, live forever, beyond death, beyond destruction. It was big in
Yes, man.
Australia. The royalty from that, you was able to buy a house in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Pick up the story.
Yeah, I bought house out of that song. And all the people who was on that song too was Gladstone Anderson,
Hmm.
who I sang Just Like a River with. You remember Gladdy?
Of course, of course, of course. Right. So I have it right that Dan Drummond
Yeah.
played the trombone, Lynn Tate the guitar.
Yes.
You remember any
Yes.
other musicians?
Oh yes, there's other musician, but I don't remember all of them right now.
Yeah, and I want to ask you to do that. But he did very good in Australia, right?
Oh, we keep cracking.
Yeah, it sold very well in
Yeah.
Australia.
Yeah, Australia is another home for me away from home.
Yes, because I think as a matter, Reynolds car used that song in a commercial, right?
Yes, it's everything came through Australia with that commercial for some car company.
Right.
I'm not ashamed to say this, but up till now I don't see the commercial, but I have a house.
Let's run some more. Let's run some more decent car companies will use the song so you can buy more houses and more houses.
Okay, oh yeah,
Yes,
a
man.
lot more is coming.
Yes,
Yeah.
man. So we talk about Patsy. Let's talk about Ken Booth now. You took Ken to Duke Reid and give us the rest.
Oh well, I used to live in the same neighborhood with Ken Booth. So he used to pass by where I was practicing, I would say around my house corner, you know?
Eh.
And then he would come and listen to me singing and start to sing with me. And he's very good at playing his mouth like instrument and taking intros and all of these things. And then when he started to sing with me and all that, I realized that he was a great artist, you know? And I decided to take him to Duke Reid with me to sing. So I took him to Duke Reid and I told Mr. Reid I want to sing a song with this man. And Mr. Reid said, no, I don't want you to sing no song with this bigger guy. I said, Mr. Reid, it's me and him going to sing the song, you know. Him said, okay. If it's you and him is going to sing, it's all right.
Yes,
And
sir.
then we recorded his first song called Una Dos Stress.
Right.
And then we went on to sing many, many, many more songs.
And that was also a top 10 placer, went on the charts in Jamaica.
Oh yes,
Right.
all of these early songs was in the chart. At one time, it's like I was taking over the old chart. I had In and Out the Window, Rough and Tough, When I Call Your Name, This Is the Stranger
Ron
Knocking.
Joe.
Yeah, This Is the Stranger Knocking at the Door was up in the chart that time too. And I had Tuna Dust and all of these songs. Yeah, so I was having a streak of it. Then I came with Artie Bell and World Sphere and all of these songs.
Right. So with Artibella now, you went to you switched producer. That one was recorded at Studio One. So and again
Yes,
with Ken
Studio
Booth, right?
One.
With Ken Booth.
Yes, yes.
And what was Mr. Dad's response when you brought Ken there? With sound gone again. Can you dial back in? Can you redial? Have Marcus redial for us, eh? Marcus did a redialing. Marcus, engineer Marcus.
We'll get it back. Here we go.
Marcus.
Coming in.
I want to remind the listeners that, gives me great pleasure to be talking to Jamaican icon, music icon, the one and only Stranger Cold. Huge pleasure to have you here.
Yeah.
So
Thank
people
you,
around the
Junior.
world, yeah, man, people around the world can hear you. So, what was Mr. Dad's response when you introduced Ken to him?
Oh, when I went to Mr. Dad, it was very easy because he already know me as a hit maker, you know?
Right. And plus,
And
you
to
guys are
sing-
the number one at Treasure Island already.
Yeah. He was very willing and glad for me to come there with Ken Booth, and he know of us, so he decided to record us.
So, why did you jump ship from Treasure Island to Studio One? Did that anger Mr. Reed, sir? Duke Reed?
I know. I
Eh?
never really jumped. I never really jumped ship, but in
You didn't
those
have a
time,
contract?
no, we didn't work with contract in those
Contract.
days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I didn't really jump the ship. But in those days when you make it record, every label wants a song from you.
Oh, yes. Oh,
So
yes.
if you check out Jamaica music, I've been on about 90% of the Jamaica labels, because
Mm-hmm.
everybody wants a song from me.
Yes.
So that's how the thing goes.
But you didn't make very
Yeah.
many songs with Studio One, right? To the best of my
No, not
knowledge.
too many.
Mm-hmm.
No, not too many. And the reason for that, I was like carrying Kenwood.
Mm-hmm.
And now that Kenwood could be on his own,
Right.
and I could be on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And the next thing about it too, that really split me up. Coxon wanted me to do more cover version and all of that.
When you're
And
an
I
excellent
was a
writer.
yeah, and I'm a songwriter, so I didn't want to cover too much version. And then he asked Ken Bood if he wanted to do it, and me and Ken Bood had a meeting, and I said, yeah, go for it. So Ken Bood did a lot of covers and all of that, and I left him on his own. But we are brothers right until now. I just saw him yesterday.
You're going to have to redial again. Ask Marcus to redial for us, eh? Yes, then. The elements have not been fair to a stranger. He's talking, but I can't hear. Stranger code left. What an evening.
Technical difficulties.
Yes, beyond our control.
But thanks everyone's patience.
Again, it's a wonderful privilege to have you watching, viewing. I'm Junor Francis, History of LA Ska. This is
Yeah.
I'm reminding listeners that I'm talking to the great stranger code. This is volume number
Yeah,
8.
thank you, Junior.
Yeah.
It's nice talking to you.
Yes.
You look very well too.
Yes, man.
You're taking care of yourself.
Well,
Eh?
I trying hard, sir, because I can't leave that up to anybody else. Yeah, so I'm really trying hard.
Yeah,
I really want
Junior.
to make it through this pandemic so that we can do more shows. So I'm trying hard.
Yeah.
No joke. So, Stranger Caller, I want to take you now from Jamaica, the epicenter, to Canada. So you moved from Jamaica 1970-71. I think you had a big song in Jamaica, Let the Power Fall and I. And then you left on or about that time, right? It was used by the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to talk
Bangara.
too much. So you pick it up from there. From big song in Jamaica, and then you migrated. Let the Power Fall and I.
But it was two versions.
Max Romeo, your version, right?
Yeah, two versions. Max Romeo and my version.
Right. And you left Jamaica for Canada.
Yes.
Canada. Why did you make that move when your career was going pretty good in Jamaica?
Well, I start to become a big man and have children and all of these things. And I thought more than less if I went to some foreign country and think my children, they would get some even better education and all of these things. So I had an uncle that was living in Canada, and he asked me if I would want to come there and live, and I told him yes. And he looked about my papers, and I went to Canada and lived there for a while.
So you didn't think it would affect your career?
Well, I wasn't really thinking on my career too much, because I think that anywhere I was in the world that my career would be good. But suddenly I find it was not so. When I went to Canada, the music industry and the music thing was not so big,
No.
You had a few artists lived there like Johnny Osborne and Colleen Davis and quite a few more. Jackie Me Too and quite a few more
Leroy
artists.
Sibbles.
But yeah, Leroy Sibbles and Eptones and all that. But the music thing wasn't too strong there. So I went and worked in a factory.
Yes, I know. And then I think you work in a factory for a year or two.
Yeah,
Still in the show business.
about
And then you open, I
yeah.
think, a store called Rough and Tough Stranger Code, right? You open a record store.
Yes, I opened a record store in downtown Toronto.
I think it
Yeah.
was the first Jamaican store. Am I right? Record store in that area.
Oh yes.
Hmm.
Oh, you know my life story
Well,
so much. Yes, it's the first
Eric, the producer, forced me to
first
read.
yeah yeah first Caribbean store in the downtown Toronto area. So it is in the archives in Canada.
Yes, man. And what was the response like when people saw a record store from Jamaica where they could get music from home,
Oh,
which was
oh, it was fantastic, man. I,
Mhm.
I, I I start to have a customer coming from Montreal and all these faraway places to my record store. Yeah, it was
Right.
fantastic, you know?
And you were getting records from Jamaica.
Yeah, I was getting record from Jamaica. I have some people who send records to me. And then I have some outlet in Canada, like Monica Record Store, which was one of the biggest store in Toronto.
Hmm.
And Joe Gibbs had a distributor place there too, and quite had a few places. So I used to buy record from these people and put in my record store.
Nice. And you were able to make a living doing that.
Oh yes, it
Eh,
was very good for me. Yeah.
right. Nice. And so from Canada now, you came to Los Angeles. Am I right? Or you went to?
Yes. No, after that, the music business started to grow in Canada, you
Hmm.
know, because I end up making all LP up there with some group called Chalawa and start doing some stage shows and all of that, you know, because Canada has grown so great nowadays, you know,
Hmm.
because last year or year before last, I went there to do the Canadian 150th birthday celebration in Toronto and some other part of Canada. And Canada is very big now in music,
Right.
but at that time it wasn't that much great, you know?
Hmm. So
I'm
when
not
you
really
recorded was
gonna go back there to live because it's too cold. I want to stay
I
in
I
Jamaica.
I can't imagine you going back there to live. So from Canada, well, you did record quite a few albums, at least minimum three full net albums in Toronto, right? Who are some of the
Oh
musicians you
yes,
work with
I
during
do
those
quite
early
a few
days?
albums.
Hmm.
Yes, sir. I make a few albums in Canada.
So did you work with Jackie Mitu and the great Leroy Sibbles? Boy, those are two super one finest in Leroy
Yeah,
and
I work with Leroy Sibley's
uh-huh.
playing a lot of bass for me in Canada.
Hmm.
But I never work with Jack in Canada.
Right. So, so after a while, I guess 3 or 4 years thereabout, you got tired of Toronto, and you headed to, I think, Los Angeles,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken. What
Yeah,
was
I
Los
came
Angeles?
to Los Angeles and my first time I came around people like Scorcher
Yes.
and then I met Lorna and Wire Booger and Ras Michael and um Dennis.
Yes. Connection gone again. Connection gone. Connection gone. I guess his son is doing what he does best. His engineer's son. All right. I'll remind viewers that I'm in conversation with the great stranger calling from Jamaica. Welcome to the History of LA Ska. This is number 8. Much to our regret, we're not able to, I guess, talk consistently. I'm not sure, Eric, engineer, what you think might be the problem
I think it's unfortunately the connection on his end.
on his end. Hmm. The
I
connection
believe.
on
I
his
believe.
end. Mm. Well, when I thank everyone who is viewing, we have people from Australia, New Zealand, quite a few friends from Mexico, and of course, right here in Southern California and Jamaica, the epicenter where Stranger Call is from. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm recognizing a couple of people. And Toronto, greetings and salutation. Germany, wow. People from all over the world tuned in to hear Stranger Cole. Stranger, yeah, I guess they're redialing. Hope his son isn't getting discouraged. Bubba Master, Los Angeles.
Here we go.
Eh.
It's coming back.
Yes, Stranger, I'm not sure if you're aware. Too many people for us to say hi to. But Stranger, you have fans tuning in from Australia, Germany, Toronto, and of course right here in Southern California. Friends from Mexico, they tune in from everywhere, Rasta. Everywhere.
Oh yes, I have a lot of friends. You know, give thanks to the
Yes,
music. You
yes,
know,
man. Great.
I
Mother Earth's most
I
special
think
creation.
yes, I think the whole thing is a blessing, and I'm enjoying it. You know.
Yes. So we pick up, you said when you came to Southern California, you met Wireways, you met Scorcher, Barton, and some of those people who are in the music industry and
Yes.
entertainment.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Lord
yeah,
and a
yeah,
few
yeah,
others.
yeah.
Right.
God Dennis and Ras
Yes.
Michael and the
Uh-huh.
Wailing Soul and all these people.
Right.
Yeah, and you. Yeah.
Yes.
and Scorcher.
Yes. And you stayed here for a couple of years. You didn't do any recording, did you? Any recordings? Here in
No, I didn't do any recording.
But I remember
No, I
you did,
didn't do any
I think you did
record.
a couple of shows because I saw you at some venue in the Crenshaw
Oh,
area.
yes. Yes, I did a couple of shows, you
Right.
know? Yeah.
And you also, what I
And
want,
then
go ahead. It's your show. I let you,
and then I leave LA and went to live somewhere in
Orange County.
Orange County way
Right.
for a while.
But
Yeah, but I was always frequent in LA.
yes, right. So I just call all of it LA. But I want to
Yes.
let the listeners know that you were very active during the AIDS movement. In fact, that's how I met you. And we did
Yeah, for
some
sure.
right. You wanted to bring
Yeah.
awareness, and you did awareness, and you got award for your work, letting people know about the dangers of AIDS, and there is cure, and we should find a cure for AIDS.
Yeah,
A lot of work you
definitely.
did.
You
Lot of work, man.
remember.
Yes.
Thank you,
Oh, of
Junor.
course.
You
No, man. Yeah,
remember.
you were very
Yeah.
active. And I was
Yeah,
pleasantly surprised. I said, "Is this the Stranger Cole I grew up in Jamaica
yeah.
listening to? Want me to come and work with
And,
him?" Wonderful.
and then me and Ras Michael, we had put on a show in Orange County, you know, when they had this big hurricane in Jamaica.
Right, and we was part of
Gilbert.
that too. Right, we raised,
Yeah.
right, we raised all
Yeah,
kind of
and
stuff,
then
and
we invited people to bring anything and come to the stage show, and we got so much thing.
yes,
Yeah,
and
that we bring some back to Crenshaw around that area, you
well,
know.
that's what I remember. You and Ras Michael were sending off stuff to Jamaica, and then of course I and many others in Los
Yeah,
Angeles
yes.
joined. Well, you have a wonderful memory, Stranger Cole.
Yes.
So what made you? So what
Yeah,
made you
you
move back
too.
to Jamaica?
Well, I was living here in LA, as you say, and then I was so far away from what I really wanted to do. I was having a good time and living a good life, but music is what I really wanted.
Yes.
And then I think more or less, if I go back to Jamaica, I would be more into what I want to be into. That is what caused me to go back home. And let me give you this little part. This is a big part. When I went back home to Jamaica, I went up to Arthur Tree, and then I saw this guy, and him say, "Oh, Stranger Cole, you back in Jamaica?" I say, "Yes." He said, "We're going to have a show at the National Stadium with Nelson Mandela. Do you want to come on that show?" I say, "Yeah." Him said,
Voice gone again. Can you ask Marcus to dial back in for us, sir? Marcus, right? Marcus. Have Marcus dial back in for us. Marcus to dial back in for us. Waiting for Stranger to dial back in. Once again, I'm in conversation, delightfully in conversation with Stranger Cole, talking about his wonderful career. Marcus, engineer, a stranger called son. Can they hear me?
Yeah.
Asking, yes. Once again, welcome to History of LA Ska live on Instagram. I'm Junor Francis. Technical difficulties, no fault of ours. As a matter of fact, no fault of stranger call. I think what it is, we're losing connection in Jamaica. But we are making the best of a bad situation. And stranger call,
Yes,
yes,
yes.
yes, yes.
Technology.
Yes, sir. So it's really a fascinating story. As soon as you arrive in Jamaica, you run into this producer who said that they're paying homage to Nelson Mandela and wanted you on the show. So pick it up from there. I know the story, but I want you to
Yeah.
tell our listeners. As a matter of fact, since then you haven't stopped working. So pick up the story from there.
Oh yes, well, I decided to go on the show at the National Stadium, and that night, I was gonna work with the Fab Five band, and then Beanie Man went out in front of me, and he sang a song like it called Moley or something like that, and then the whole stadium boy Beanie Man. And they come backstage and say, Stranger Cole, it's your turn. And I said, oh my God, I'm not in Jamaica for this long time. And if they can boy Beanie Man, they're going to kill me. Anyway, I went up and I sang Rough and Tough and I mashed up the whole stadium. And then all my friends told me that I should not go back to foreign. I should stay in Jamaica because I'm welcome. So I stayed.
And what a welcome, sir. That was at the time when Nelson Mandela was about to get released, or was he out of jail? I know about that time, right?
He was out of jail and came to Jamaica. And Millie Small was also there too.
And who else was on that show? Right, Millie Small was in Jamaica at the show as well. Ah, wow. Who else was on the show?
People, but I just remember that moment.
Yes, and a wonderful moment.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, Millie Small, did you get a chance to sing with her?
No, but once I wrote a song called Sugar Plum that she sang with Owen Gray, but I wrote it and it went #1 too.
Oh, wow. So we need to get a book out, Stranger Call. There's so many things I'm discovering now. I mean, even though I've known you for a significant number of years.
Yeah, I'm doing something
these
now
things
I
have to be
can tell you
documented.
about it. I'm doing a documentary on my life story.
Okay. What form is
I'm
going to
doing a documentary. I'm doing a documentary on my life story, which is gonna come out sometime this year.
Right. So professional people working on it?
Oh yeah, professional people working. I'm working with a guy from Spain and he's directing it and doing a lot of things. And I have a bunch of artists and it's gonna be wonderful. I'm planning to bring it out sometime this year.
Yes, and you should, sir. And you have my support. But you know, we miss one key element, your trip to London. Tell us about your trip to United Kingdom where you spent some time, did perform, and a matter of fact, you may have even did some recording in England.
Oh yes, I've been to England on many occasions. The first time I went to England was 1973. And I thought the last time it 2 years ago, I think, for the ski. But I did a lot of recording.
Your first trip, you lived for a period, right? A relatively short period.
My first trip I went live for a short time. I was there around the Palmer crew and Bonnie Lee and Derek Morgan and Max Romeo did Wet Dream and quite a few of us were in England at that moment. Yes, and I did a few recording with Derek Morgan and Owen Gray. We sing a few songs together, and I do some more recording in England.
Right. So we hopscotching and going back and forth. I want to have you tell us about that song, Bangarang, when Rocksteady transitioned into reggae. It was one of the first songs that came out at the time. Pick it up from there. Your production, right? At Treasure Isle,
Yeah.
Bangarang. Hmm.
Well, there is a story to Bangarang. I didn't went to the studio with Bonnie Lee. I was passing by, and someone told me that Bonnie Lee was having a session in Treasure Isle studio, and he's a good friend of mine. So I went upstairs and saw Mr. Lee, and he told me he has a song called Bunga Chant. And Lester Sterling is gonna play the instrumental part of it, and he would like me to say some words to the song. So I start to sing Mama No Want Bangarang, and that's how it come about. But Bangarang is not a song. Bangarang is a music. This is where some people don't know about it, because you have a lot of people sing about reggae, but the music is the reggae, and I sing the first song on the reggae music, which was produced by Bonnie Lee.
Right. So that's when the transition now from rocksteady into reggae. That was one of the first songs that came out.
Yes, yes.
Right.
Yeah, and it was played by Carlton Barrett and his brother.
Hmm.
And those were all the people that went to play with Bob Marley after that, like the Wailers band. They were the Wailers band, really.
Hmm.
Yes.
Right.
Family Man Barrett and Carlton Barrett and those guys, they were the real backbone to Bob Marley music. So after they did that Bangarang, they went off and played with Bob Marley.
Right. And that song became famous worldwide.
Oh
Mash
yes,
up the
oh
charts
yes.
in Jamaica.
I do them. I do so much dub plate from music.
And for a lot of people don't know for, that's a really a good laugh, stranger. Mean money laugh. And for
Yeah, yeah,
people
yeah,
who
yeah.
don't know what dub plate is, can you explain to our listeners abroad, sir, who don't exactly are asking me what is dub
Well,
plate?
dub plate. Yeah, dub plate is a song that this most of the sounds require as a special song made for the sound system. Like for instance, I would sing Junor Francis to mix with the bangarang. You understand?
Right. And
Yeah,
so
that
sound
is a dub
the
plate go. Yeah.
right, and so sound system men all over the world use them on their sound system.
Yes,
Eh,
want to have a special with their name in it. Yeah.
right. So you right. So when you mention Junior Francis, assuming I had a sound system, that's how it is basically done. And that's
Yes,
what
that's your
right. And
special.
that brings a
That's
lot
your
of
dub plate.
yes. Right. And that was bringing a lot of revenue into performers now in Jamaica who are not able to tour as a result of the pandemic, right? Am I
Yeah,
right?
definitely,
Eh,
definitely. I haven't been touring for over a year now since this virus thing.
mhm.
Yeah, but the dub plates and we do a little studio thing. Sometimes some people send rhythms from foreign for us to voice in Jamaica and all of that. So I do quite a few recording too.
Mhm. And in doing some
Hmm.
preparation for the show tonight, I discovered that you did. I should have written this down, but you did duet with Delroy Wilson, the
Oh yeah,
Pioneers. You did your song
yes,
with Slim Smith, and Slim Smith always back.
yes,
Slim Smith back in Run Joe Run. Tell us a little bit about
yes.
working with some of those artists. They're too numerous to
Yeah,
mention.
on the techniques and Errol Dunkley and the reggae boy, blues buster, the metal. I sing with so many people in Jamaica because the reason for that in Jamaica at those times, we just help each other. There's so many records that comes out that you don't know who is in the background and all of that because we always help each other. So
Mhm.
you can hear the Wailers singing with Ken Bood or Delroy Wilson or whatever. We just help each other and go on. Yes.
Right. On Run Joe Run, which is one of my favorite. Is that Slim Smith in the background, sir?
Yeah, the techniques.
Yeah, oh,
I and the
yes, what I
techniques do
said. That's got to
the
be Slim Smith. That was before Pat
yeah,
Kelly
the
joined.
orange. You can hear Slim Smith
Run,
voice in
Joe!
it.
I dare not
Yeah.
try to imitate him.
Uh,
Okay,
I
but
have another big one I did with Slim Smith called Ain't Too Proud to Beg with Slim Smith and Pat Kelly. The three of us did that.
you're kidding.
Yeah, but it the Slim Smith name come on the record.
Wow. I mean, that's so catastrophically sad. You're kidding. I didn't know you're in that one. That's a wicked song again.
Oh yeah, a
Wow.
lot of song.
Man.
I did You May Not Be a Movie Star with Errol Dunkley. Movie Star
Yeah.
and all that song. I did with Alice, you know? Oh yeah. You Make Me So Happy. You remember that big one for Alton
Of course,
Ellis?
but yes, I'm listening attentively
Yeah,
because
me
I'm
and
learning.
Alton Ellis sing that song too, you know? I sing on
Right.
a lot of songs with many artists.
Right. You did work also with Delroy Wilson. I forget the name of the
Oh,
song. Am I right?
oh yes, I even sang with Prince Buster, you know? Alton Ellis and all
But you
these
have to tell
people.
us the name of the song because
Yeah.
we have
Monty
no.
Morris. Yeah.
Can you name some of the songs since we have no way of finding out because the producers at the time didn't list, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of odd. I just told you about Ain't Too Proud to Beg.
Yeah, big one.
With Slim Smith
Yes.
and Run Joe with the things Errol Dunkley.
Yes.
Yeah. Movie Star. Man.
And those are all
Alton
top 10
Ellis, You
songs, you
Make
know.
Me
Those
So
are all top
Happy.
10 songs.
Yeah, I don't remember the whole of them now,
Of
but
course.
I've sung on some of them. I have them in my catalog.
Oh, that's fantastic. And Too Proud to Beg. A real wicked song. I think the producer on that one is Bunny Lee.
Yes, Bunny Lee. Yeah, we did.
Yes, sir. Marcus has to redial. Marcus, I keep referring to Marcus. He's Stranger Cole's son, an engineer. He's been doing a fantastic job so far. Once again, I want to remind everyone that it's a joy and a privilege to be in conversation with the great Stranger Cole. History of LA Ska Live. We have people listening from every country, literally from every country on planet Earth. Start with Mexico, Argentina, Germany, not to mention Jamaica, right here in Southern California, Toronto. I want to thank you all for joining us. Of course, on a Friday evening, I guess it's Saturday morning in some places, you could be doing so many other things. So really and truly, I want to express my profound thanks to everyone who has joined us up to this point. I think Stranger Cole has rejoined us again.
Yes.
Stranger, you're
I
the most
rejoined.
patient person I know.
Oh, I think patience is a virtue, you know.
Yes, sir.
And they have a thing to say, meekly wait and murmur not.
Yes, but I'm really
Yeah,
fascinated.
that's a Derek Morgan.
Yes, man. I'm really fascinated with the fact that you work with so many people, though. I mean, they do it. A lot of these, the only one that I could detect was Ron Joe. I said that's got to be the techniques in the background. The rest of duets, I had no idea. And you remember what song you did with the Pioneers? The Pioneers. You also work with Pioneers. You remember what song?
I and the Pioneer used to mix. Yeah, I used to mix with a group called the Reggae Boys, singing a lot of tune for Joe Gibbs.
Yes,
Them a
man.
laugh and all those tune with the Reggae Boys. I used to be one of the lead singer, and it was the Pioneers and myself.
Wow.
Formed the Reggae Boys.
Foundation artist, Stranger Cole.
Yeah.
So Stranger Cole, a lot of those songs, no royalty, right? Because producers only put, I guess, in that case, are the Pioneers, right? Or the Reggae Boys. So people like yourself wouldn't be credited or even get royalty, right? The way it was structured in Jamaica, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, about royalty, the whole thing was so confiscated in the beginning. But now that I grow older in the business and learn more things over the year, I'm trying to collect some of my royalties and all of this. Some of them talking about statute of limitation and all of these things. But I get to, I am getting a little from here and there for my publishing and my copywriting and things like that. And I'm so careful nowadays these are the days of contract. In my days, we didn't make any contracts and all that. It was just a verbal thing
Mhm.
where you agree with a guy, you know. So, but nowadays, everything you do is a contract.
Right.
So it's much better, you
Mhm.
know.
So even though you didn't have a contract with Duke Reed, I heard Duke Reed gave you a car, but you said, no, boss. You know, Mr. Reed,
Yeah.
give me a bicycle. Tell it
Yeah.
about it.
Junior, you're the best. Yes. Yeah.
you turned you turned on
Yeah.
the car for a
When
bicycle.
I yes, I was in my late I was in my late teens, you know. Yes, and Duke was giving me a car, and I told him I don't need a car. I need a ladies' real bicycle because that was happening at the moment, you know. You never see. You never seen a little young man like me driving car. We always ride a bicycle, you know.
Yes.
So I told him that I want a bicycle instead of the car, you know.
But
Not even thinking I could sell the car and buy
right,
3
and
bicycles.
if right.
Yeah,
So many
yeah,
people would have
but
yes.
he wouldn't be proud of me if I took the car and sell it. So I tell him to give me a bicycle.
So generosity, and you're so considerate, and
Yes,
remain very
yeah.
considerate up to this point. So if I were to, so how old were you then? You're talking about still in your teens if you weren't driving and didn't have a desire
Yeah,
for a
man,
car.
about 18 or so, 17, 18, 19, in my teens.
You
Yeah,
turn on a car for a bicycle.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
in terms of producers now, so you work with Coxsone briefly. Let's leave him out. Bunny Lee, Duke Reed. We need to talk about Miss Pottinger.
yeah.
A little
I
about
work
her,
with
right?
everybody,
Yeah.
Miss
So let's
Pottinger.
talk about her. I think she's one of the greatest female producer in the historical evolution of Jamaican music. What was
Yes,
it like
she
working with
was.
her?
Yes.
We can't leave her out. That would be utter disrespect.
No, we can't leave out Miss Pottinger. It was nice. I can remember when she made her first recording session. She invited me and Patsy and
Eh?
Baba Brooks.
The very
We were
first one.
like her key.
The
Yeah,
first.
very first one.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, but we didn't record that day. The first recording she does was called Every Night, done by
Joe
Joe
White.
White. Yes, and Baba Brooks did an instrument and the B side called First Session, and Every Night was a big, very big one for her.
Yes, and
And then yeah, after that she said she would like me and Patsy to do some recording for her too. So she went to Warwick Hill and then Count Azzy. And then we made a song called Down by the Train Line that went #1. And we did a next song called Give Me the Right, which went #1 too. And we did quite a few popular songs for her.
mhm. Right, great performer. Sorry, producer. Not sure why more
Yes,
female women in Jamaica, didn't follow in her footsteps, but she really and truly laid the foundation. She was very instrumental in Marcia Griffith's life as
yes,
well.
she's a great lady.
Yes, right, wonderful man.
Yes.
Would have been wonderful if we had more female producers in Jamaica.
Oh, chill.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Right, was she the only one at that time?
No, you had that some other little lady, but they wasn't well known as she. You know, I don't
Right.
remember names now. But you had one and two lady who used to produce something, but never so famous.
Hmm. And I want to ask the working relationship with Mr. Reed. Was it good all the time? A lot of people criticize the Duke.
Oh yeah, I
You
was loved by Mr. Reed because I'm a hit maker. You see, I came in his stable and making all his records, so I was one of his star. You know, I have the facility to move around his studio. At one time, I was his talent scout. You have to sing to me before you can go up to Gladdy on the piano to see if you can sing on keys and all of that. So I was like his talent scout at one
yes.
time, you know?
Right.
Yeah, but I used to Lego everybody. I used to send everybody upstairs, and then you have to fail by your own self. That is
Hmm.
why I was so loved. I never hold back anyone.
Right. Do you have a favorite studio in Jamaica?
At this moment,
No, no, back then, man. No, no, we're not talking about now it's for other people. I'm talking about back
oh, oh,
then.
oh, oh,
Mm.
oh, there was only one or two studio at those time. It was the Federal Recording Studio,
Treasure
which
Island
we
Studio
do,
One.
which is now Tough Gang Studio.
So there were three. Up to three,
That
which
is
was the
where we
focus?
used to do most of the recording. And yeah, we used to do some recording at JBC too.
So Duke Reed
Yes,
didn't have his
but
own studio as yet.
no, he did not. When you call my name and Rough and Tough and all these things, we had to go to Federal Studio.
Right. So it was, if I'm not mistaken, Studio One, and then Cox, and then Duke Reed up his own studio. I
Yes,
think in that order.
yes, in that order. And then you used to have one name, West Indian Studio too.
West Indies record.
And they call it Dynamic now. That was owned by Byron Lee.
And speaking of Byron Lee, he doesn't get the kind of credit he deserves. Did you work with him in any capacity?
Oh yes, I made a #1 song with Byron Lee called "Come Back," me and Patsy.
Ah, that one escaped me. Eh. Ah, come back.
Come back, yeah. And I sang on quite a few songs with Monty Morris, A Little More Oil in My Lamp,
You on
and
that one too?
quite a few things with Byron Lee.
Ah, this is see, again. All this is news. I can't wait for that documentary. To bring all these things to light so that people all
Yeah,
over the world had no idea, sir.
yeah, yes,
Mhm.
yes.
I had no idea. Really want to thank you for your years and years of contribution to this great music, man. Once again, people are listening and people are watching all over the world, Stranger Cole. It's a privilege to have you on the radio.
Yes.
I mean, have you on radio, have you on
Yes,
Kingston
it
Song
was.
Live.
I
Yes.
am grateful for you having me.
Right. So
Yeah.
let's talk about tour. Where are some of the places that you've performed that you really and truly love with great passion? Huh? Some of the places that you have performed over the years that you love with passion.
Well, the world is such a beautiful place.
Hmm.
And I just can't find a place that I would say this is the best place because I have so many nice friends and fans all over the world, and I get so much observation wherever I go. So, you know, they say the world is a small place, so I think it's really small because I enjoy everywhere I go in the world singing Jamaican music.
And you're really and truly a people person. So you,
Yeah.
yes, as luck would have it, should I say luck? Because of your contribution, your songwriting skill, and your performing skills, you appeared in, I think, two documentaries. Could you tell us about them? One was a massive, larger than life reunion that I think took place in Canada that features some of the biggest names in the fraternity, Ska Rocksteady fraternity. Names
Oh
like,
yes. Oh, that
uh,
was the.
gosh, the two, I'll let you, I'll let you mention the names. They're too many, too numerous.
You talking the Montreal Jazz Festival,
No, there was
Marcus
a reunion,
Cigar.
a documentary, a movie that I
Oh
still is still in
yes,
the can to
Rocksteady.
test.
Oh yeah,
Rocksteady
Rocksteady.
reunion documentary,
Yeah,
and if
Rocksteady, the root of reggae. Yeah, yeah.
yes, if I'm not
Oh yeah,
mistaken, it hasn't been released as yet, or has
yeah.
it?
You could get it someplace, maybe on YouTube and all of these things. I was a movie star in that one.
Yeah, right, right. So tell us about that one. As a matter of fact, I think it's out. Yeah, that one has been released. But there's also, let's talk
Yes,
about the one that's released now. What was
yeah.
it
That's
like?
Rocksteady.
Yeah,
Rocksteady,
Rocksteady
the root of
reunion.
reggae.
Right. What was it like
Yeah.
reconnecting with those artists who you grew up with in Kingston, Jamaica?
Oh, it was a lot of fun because some of these artists, I haven't seen them for many years, like over 20 years and all of that.
Uh-huh.
So it was a very great occasion to be working with people like Ernest Ranglin and all of these great people, Marcia Griffith and the Eptones and Ken Booth. All of us was in one corner at this big anniversary. And then we keep a show in Montreal, the Montreal Jazz Festival. We had a crowd of over 80,000 people, and that was
Wow.
very
What's
gigantic for me.
are
Yes.
you 80,000?
Yeah, yeah.
Congratulations, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And so there's also,
I, was
go ahead.
I was a little nervous at that crowd,
Of
but
course, I understand.
we had a doc, we had our own doctor, and he told us that we must drink some warm tea before we go on stage,
Why was that? Was it cold, sir?
Oh well, it's Canada, but he said that if we had some warm tea, it would be good for our throat and all of that,
Mm-hmm. Right.
Some bush tea from Jamaica.
I'm not talking about ganja.
Yeah.
So now there's also a second movie, a documentary called Legends of Ska. That one was done.
Oh, that one has.
It's
Yeah,
still in the
that one
can.
hasn't come out yet. That is a great one too. Yeah.
Tell us about it. For those of us who don't know, including myself, know
Yeah, we're
little or
still
nothing
waiting
about
on
it.
that to come out.
And who are some of the actors or performers or musicians?
Legend. Yeah, yeah. Legend of Ska was created by my friend, from America, Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
and he bring us all together for this big opening of the Legend of Ska in Canada. And we had
Right.
like about a 3 night, and all of them was very packed, and they film it, and they do all kind of thing with it. And I saw some clippings of it, and it is very good. I want to tell you the truth. Most of the guys them in that movie, they passed off. A lot of
That's so
them,
sad, sir.
yeah, around a lot of them passed away. I hope he bring it out for the public before I do.
And what is the hold up? Why hasn't hit the streets as yet? To the best of your
I
knowledge.
don't know, just some red tape thing in the music industry, but that should be out.
Mhm.
I hear that he featured all over the world in some little theaters and clubs and all of that, but it's not out for the public.
Right. Um, we talk about the legends from the 60s, and let's talk about some artists now. Not so new, but relatively new in comparison to the 60s. At some point, Mighty Diamonds, you discovered them. Tell us about that discovery. And they went on to become
Okay.
larger than life. And for introduction, they have that big song called Pass the Dutchie. It was covered by Musical Youth and still making cash registers ring. Tell us about how you discovered them. For lack of a better word,
Okay,
discover.
well, the Mighty Diamond, yeah, the Mighty Diamond is related to me. My son, Squidly Cole, the drummer that played for the Marleys,
Eh,
Tabil Diamond, the lead singer for the Diamond, supposed to my son supposed to call him uncle. So I
oh,
related to the Diamond, and these guys grow up on my music in
of
Trenchtown.
course. Yes,
And
sir.
then I heard them singing and decided to record it, the Mighty Diamond. I did the first record of them called Oh No Baby. I still have a copy of it. I'm planning to put out all these tunes over again.
Yes. Ah, all right. Unfortunately, Stranger Cole, you have to redial again. Yes, call on Brother Marcus. Brother Marcus. My guest has been the legend, icon, music historian, Stranger Cole. For no fault of his, he has left the conversation, but he will rejoin us. And we are on Instagram Live, History of LA Ska. We want to thank everyone who is viewing. As I mentioned previously, and I'm really and truly repeating for emphasis that we have people from all over the world tuning to see their favorite, the people person, Stranger Cole, one of the most gentle human beings you're going to meet in any culture, in any language, and anywhere on planet Earth. As a matter of fact, if you're looking for a big brother, call on Stranger Cole. If you're looking for a friend, call on Stranger Cole.
Yeah.
Stranger Cole.
They start to call me family code.
Family Cole.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So I think so. We talk about the documentary. I think we pretty much. Did you have anything else you want to add? Because I want to ask you about working with the Mighty Bostonian, which is a current project. Did you complete your thoughts about
But
the legend, the documentary? You said, I think we got cut off when you said you're hoping that they will put it up before you join your ancestors.
yes, I do. Yes, I would love to see the public see that because it's a great part of the Jamaica history.
Yes.
Ska. So I think he should put it out. And a lot of people that perform in it died already. Like people like all Prince Buster, you know? Yes, and a guy from Higgs and Wilson and quite a few King Stitch, you know?
Yes.
I can call quite a few names that died from that project. Yeah.
You know, it's not good to bring in my own personal experience, but you said something to me. You said many things, but I remember one time I picked you up at the LAX, and you were trying to call somebody, and we went through your phone book, and you said, Junior, you know, all these people are dead. A lot of my friends are gone, and it somehow
Yes.
yeah, really
I
funny.
still have some of them in my
My
book.
God, yeah, man, so many friends have
Yeah.
passed.
I,
So
I, I,
you point out the
yeah, I
need and the
still have,
necessity for us to enjoy life, enjoy life in the moment.
yes. Derek Morgan is a good friend of mine, and sometime when I meet him, I said, Derek Morgan, they said me and you died such a long time ago. And Derek Morgan said to me, say, anytime I'm ready, I will tell them. So that is what I say now.
Right.
When they ask me, I say, anytime I'm ready to go, I will tell you.
Yes, sir. So let's talk about the Mighty Bostonians. I think this is a fresh project that you recorded. I think it's a 8 minutes long, a very long song that I'm not sure. I think our wonderful friend and producer Eric introduced me to it. But I know you sang with them, the Mighty Bostonians. Obviously, they are from Boston. Tell us about that project.
What is their name?
The Bostonians. I think the final parade is the name of the song.
Okay, I did that recently.
Uh-huh. So
You
tell
have
us
a
about that
copy of
project.
you have a copy of that one?
No, sir, but I just heard about it, so I'm asking you about it. Because it shows that you're
Yes.
right. You're definitely not yet ready to be carried off to the past, so you're not going away like a retired racehorse. Stranger Cole is out
Okay.
there making new music, and this one is a fresh one. Mighty Bostonians. I think a whole
Okay.
bunch of a lot of artists aren't there, but you're the only Jamaican legends who appeared. Legend
Oh
rather,
yeah.
who appeared on this one.
Yeah, these guys and my friends, they call me from some part of the world. I think it's England, America, I don't remember. And they say they have this project with a lot of different artists from all over the world, and they would love me in it as a Jamaican.
That's
So
the one, the Bostonians. Hold your thought until we come back, Stranger Cole. We lost the sound again. Hold your thoughts, sir. Once again, we're in conversation with the great Stranger Cole. Such a privilege to talk to the master behind such big songs like Bangarang. Women don't want no Bangarang. Women want love, respect, and dignity. And of course, you're watching from Instagram Live, History of LA Ska. This is number 8. So I'm sort of talking, hoping that Stranger will join us any moment now. We have people. Too many to mention. Too many to mention. Once again, History of LA Ska live on Instagram. I think the problem is in Jamaica because so far I can hear myself, but we can't hear Stranger Code. And his son, very patient, Marcus, who is an engineer. You're waiting for Stranger to make his final entry. Taking him a while to dial up again. Mm. Yeah. All right.
There we go.
Yes, stranger. Waiting for you to make your last and final entry. So, stranger, I know your son Marcus is the engineer, and he has to go to school.
Yeah, my son
Yeah,
Marcus is the
yeah, man.
engineer.
He has to go to school tomorrow. But I wanted to
Oh,
ask.
well, he's working at home, but he has to go to school. He hasn't been to school for 1 year now.
Oh, so he's homeschooling, right? As a result of the pandemic.
Oh, yeah, he's doing his lessons at home.
Yes. Oh, okay. I don't know. Because when you say he's in school, I thought he was physical. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So we were talking about this song that you recorded. So pick up where you left off. So the Bostonians call you. The name of the song is The Final Parade. Tell us what happened.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they called me and asked me if I would love to sing on the song, and I told them okay, and they said they would send me a beer or two, and then I agree, and then I did the work, and it's ready to come out now. Yeah.
Let me ask, Eric, is the song released?
Yes.
Oh, his song is out, Rasta. So you need to
Yeah.
track it. Yes, man, it's out. That's how
I
we
don't
discovered
get
it.
Past Monday.
I don't get a copy.
Oh, it came out this past Monday. So I'm quite sure they're respectful and respectable and dignified enough to send your copies. The Mighty
Yeah.
Bostonians.
Could you let Eric call them up and let them send some copies for me?
Yes, sir. Without hesitation or reservation, we'll have them. We'll contact them. That's for sure. So I
Okay,
mentioned
sir.
before that you're
Yes.
really and truly staying current, man. You're not ready to be carried off to the pasture.
Oh yes, and last week I just did another single that is coming out in June. I did
Oh, you
it
have to tell us. We
with
have
people like
no.
Ernest Ranglin.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
And then I have this one that
Yeah. I think we let Marcus dial you back in. Mm-hmm. Well, we're in conversation now. We're rudely interrupted by Mother Nature. We have no control. You know, again, it gives me such great pleasure and joy to talk to longtime friend, music historian, the legendary Stranger Cole. Numerous interruptions tonight, unprecedented number of interruptions. But patient, as patient as he is, he will dial back in so that we can have some closing remarks from Stranger. Yes, Stranger. Mara Hicks Dread
is
from
connecting.
yes from Mexico.
Yeah.
Yes, you have some diehard fans all over the world, man. Mara from Mexico.
Oh yes, man.
Eh,
I want to tell you the real truth. It's my fans and friends and family keep me so young, you
Of
know?
course, of course,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So,
I
Stranger
have
Cole.
some beautiful people in this world. You
Eh,
see, I'm a people person, you
oh,
know,
don't you have to
Junior,
tell me
like
that, boss? Of
yourself, you
course,
know?
I know.
Yeah.
Of course, I know.
Yeah, but I mean, without nobody there couldn't be me, really. So, you know,
Vice
people
versa.
is my topic, you know?
Hmm. Right.
Yeah. I adore people, you know?
Yes. So, bring us up to speed with the new recordings that are coming out. You mentioned that something is in the can, supposed to be released in June. So, pick up the conversation from there. And those that you have some
Yeah.
projects that you're working on as well, of your own production, right?
Yeah, well, at this moment, I'm not working on anything for myself. I'm
Oh,
planning to stream something because this is the way the music is going now.
yes, sir.
And streaming. And then I have a lot of stuff that never been out, really. So
So,
I'm
where are
planning to
those
start.
songs? Where are they? The
Eh?
ones that have not been released. Where are they?
I have them here at home.
Oh, what? Scare Rocksteady Reggae.
I'm not going. I'm not gonna show you where they are, Junior.
No, sir.
Yeah, I have them.
No,
I
you
have
better
them
hide them.
here at home, you know.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I'm going to encourage you
Oh
to,
yes, I have to hide
get,
my.
yeah, get them out.
I have to hide my music from a lot of people, you know.
Yes, man, and
Yeah.
I'm once, and I don't blame you because I'll be back at your house again. I'll be back there as soon as the
Yes,
pandemic is over.
I have them in my house, you know.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, Stranger Cole, is there anything that you haven't done that you would like to do? Maybe travel? Have you gone to Africa? So that's all one question in one.
No,
What you haven't done that you would like to do? Have
yeah,
you been
that is
to
my
Africa?
last journey now. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yes, I've been very close. I could just walk over the next side and go, because I do a lot of show in Europe and all that. But
Mm-hmm.
I've never placed my foot in Africa. I get a few offers to come to Africa, but there's some corona thing here kind of stall a lot of touring for me for
Mm-hmm.
last year. But hopefully this year I will come into play and go to Africa and all of these places.
Right. And any project you have that you haven't completed, what would you like to do before you join your ancestors like the rest of us? You seem to have done
Well,
almost everything. My goodness.
what I would really like to do before I meet my sisters and my mommy and daddy, I have my son here with me. His name is Marcus, my engineer,
I keep mentioning
and
him all night.
I can remember my family from I was growing up in Trenchtown and all of that. That none of my brothers and sisters never been to the university and all of these places. So I wish I could to see all of that for my youngest little son
Mm-hmm.
before I passed away. So I'm working on all of that part.
Right. So Marcus is in high school now.
Yes, he's 16-year-old and he's in 10th grade.
Yes, and he has desire and ambition to go to university.
Oh yes, he wants to go to university and all of that. He know what he wants. And he's in music because he's making his own rhythms and all of
Nice.
that.
Mm-hmm.
But I told him he don't have to stick to one thing. He can have multiple talent, you know?
Of course.
So
Of course.
he's playing the keyboard, making rhythm and taking in his lesson, which is most essential.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. So, stranger, before we part, anything you would want to say to your fans, your friends, your relatives in Asia, Africa,
Yes,
Latin America, here in Los Angeles, Canada, and of course Mexico, Germany? They called in, they tuned in from everywhere. Any parting words?
yes, I want to say to all of my friends and fans, to follow the rules, to wear their scarf, to keep a distance.
Mm-hmm. He's gone again.
One more time.
Yes, Marcus, one more time, so that we can have your dad, Stranger Cole, the legendary Stranger Cole, say goodbye, a proper goodbye to his fans.
Here we go.
Yes, Stranger, I'm hoping that you will get the opportunity to say a proper goodbye to your friends.
Things coming. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, Stranger. So I'm trying to get you to say a
Yeah,
proper,
Junior.
yes, man, trying to get you to say a proper goodbye to your friends and fans who joined us on Instagram Live at
Yeah,
History of LA Ska.
well, before I go, I want to say greetings to my friend Queen P
Yes,
and Queen Rejoice.
yes,
Yes, and Scott and Wailing Soul, God Dennis and family, Ross Michael and all of these people. And most of all to you, Junor Francis and Eric, and all of my friends and fans all over the world. I love you,
yes, sir.
but I love you more.
Right.
More
More
life.
live. And I hope that after the pandemic, we'll get a chance to see you live in concert here in Los Angeles, the entertainment capital of the world. In the meantime, in between time, stranger, take good care of yourself and more life. And
Definitely.
enough thanks to your son, Marcus.
All the best.
Yes, and thanks to everyone who
Yes,
joined us
all the
tonight.
best, Junior, and thank you
Yes,
again.
man. Salute.
Yes, and Eric, stay
Yes,
warm.
indeed,
Yeah.
sir. I want
More
to
life.
thank everyone. Yes,
Thanks.
thank everyone who
Yes.
joined us. Thanks to Stranger Call. Our next guest will be none other than Chuck Wren from Chicago. We'll be talking to him live. Oh, yes, he'll be guest number 9. I think that should be on February the 7th. So just a matter of days from now. Again, on February the 7th, Chuck went from Jump Up Record, Chicago, the Windy City. He has a lot of things to say. I want to thank you all for making this your choice location on this marvelous Friday evening. Thanks.